you can be fat and still have all kinds of things to be proud about.
Oh, absolutely.
But like,
and I'm not negating those things, but I'm just not a fan.
I felt like I was. That's why I felt like I wanted to say that because it awfully sounded like me saying like, there's nothing impressive about. That's the worst part about this fucking topic. What are we called? Scott versus Sarah.
This is episode 3. We're still very new to this.
Is it episode 3? Is it just the episode?
The third episode we're recording. How about we say that?
The third episode we're recording. Are we going to go chronological? I'm still not so sure about episode 1.
Who knows? Maybe this will be episode 1.
Maybe this is episode 1. Maybe the episode 1 is a Patreon exclusive.
I feel like out of all of them, this one should be the Patreon exclusive.
Yeah, it's the one you want people to pay to have to see. This
is the more nerve-wracking subject matter so far for me.
Nerve-wracking for you, but you're less honest than me.
That's not true at all. You're just a contrarian.
I'm not a contrarian. Absolutely not. I'm a logician, and the world is fucked. So
logician?
Logician.
Is that a thing?
I think so. Wendy? Maybe you want to pull that up?
Is that a word? Logician?
Yeah. It's a logic person.
Logician.
I'm a logician.
Okay. If this is a word.
How do you spell that?
C-I-A-N, maybe T-I-A-N. I'm not a fucking linguist.
If this is a word, I will be
a logician.
Oh my God. It is in fact a word. Someone with. Oh my God. A logician is
unconventional approach to many aspects of life.
INTP, which is introverted, intuitive thinking, and prospecting. That's part of the Myers-Briggs personality types.
There you go.
Do you know what you are?
Pick out unlikely paths, mixing unwillingness to experiment with personal creativity. No, mixing willingness to experiment with personal creativity. Can we go to the people also ask, what does being a logician mean? Because I don't know if that's what I meant I am. I meant logical person, and Ian sounds like something you would put at the end of logic to make that what
logician is one of the, it's part of the Myers-Briggs. Like I am ENFP, which I think is like explorer or something.
Oh, one of those, yeah.
Yeah.
So can we go back to, see logician. That, Wendy? People also ask, what does being a logician mean?
Yeah.
A person who specializes in or skilled at logic. So I'm a logician.
I would say so.
I'd say I'm pretty skilled at logic to a fault.
An emotion. What's the opposite of a logician? That's what I am.
Neuroticician.
Actually, I don't. You know what? I think I'm more logic than you make me out to be.
No, you are. No, you're like everybody else, afraid of being logical, because we are all watching the logical. Like we all think somewhat logical, but we realize that logic isn't always empathetic. Well, no, it's not necessarily not empathetic. It's just it seems a little harsh sometimes. Brutal honesty. Logic gives you brutal honesty.
It can be harsh for sure.
And so, did we even tell what our episode was about?
Not yet, but we got chit chat a bit.
We're chit chatting about logic.
What's new with you?
Well, I made some logical decisions today. Some not so logical, like eating 2 junior chickens, but I only ate 2. And I didn't get the double cheeseburger.
You know what? I think I found.
And I ate only one of the buns. Like I took the bottom bun off because it doesn't have mayo on it.
Only one of the buns.
Yeah.
So, well, yeah. So you let yourself indulge, but like in a smart way.
I wouldn't say it's smart. It's still a junior chicken. It's still a lot of mayonnaise.
But you should let yourself indulge. I feel like when you
but I also had a honey cruller and an ice cap. And a burger. So I've eaten only burgers today. One of them wasn't a fast food burger, so that's where I go. It's healthy, and I didn't get the fries. I got a salad, but salad dressing was awfully thick, so it probably wasn't healthy. I don't feel healthy right now, and now I'm drinking a beer.
I've been eating like shit for the past couple weeks too. How
do you feel?
Absolutely goddamn terrible.
Oh, but what's the name of this? What's the topic of this episode?
well, why don't you? Well,
it was body positivity.
Body positivity.
She's fucking shaking.
No, I'm not. I'm fine. We got this.
Are you?
We're going to be honest. We're going to be logical in our discussion.
It's going to hurt, right?
Well, I don't think so.
Well, look, it
might hurt some
topic.
people.
We're going to discuss it. I don't think a lot of people take things as malicious when they shouldn't. There's no malicious intent in what we talk about here. I don't think there's ever. That's where I get. That's why out loud in a mic, in person, I am much easier, much more palatable than when I'm on Facebook or posting online. Because everyone always assumes I'm yelling.
Yeah, that's true.
Usually I'm just talking like this.
But also that should be true for any human. Humans do not come off well on a keyboard. You can't see tone. You can't see, you can't get a vibe. It's just bad all around.
Yeah, it's really bad. And it's especially bad when you talk about a contentious topic that you are not in favor of, because people will, they'll white knight. They'll go out there to virtue signal about how, I'm gonna stand up to this guy and I'll be the hero in this conversation, and I'm a single dude that needs to get laid, so I had to flex how compassionate and empathetic I am, so that way I can fuck her. There's a lot of that shit going on when you get to social media.
Have you had online discussions about body positivity?
About body positivity? To a degree. I mean, I feel like body shaming is part of the body positivity talk. I've definitely had a lot of private conversations about it. I've definitely been perfectly open about my own struggles with weight.
Yeah.
And I've been fat and I've been shredded, and
what's interesting is I think the best person to talk to about body positivity is someone who is overweight, lost weight, and then gained it back again, because they see how different they're treated when they're thinner.
Sure.
And it's really eye-opening. I've heard that from people where it's like, yeah, this is how it is right now. I gained the weight back, but oh my gosh, it's night and day how people treat me.
You know what? That's actually perfect. Because I am that guy, right? I was fit my whole life. I would be, let's say, I got down to 172 in my adult life, we'll say post 25. I think I was 27, 28 when I was 170, fucking shredded. And I went down from 200. Then I went up to 220. And then that was the last year I was at 220 because I had my knee surgery and I was eating like a pig. Mm-hmm. And then I wasn't working out and I was just being a bag of shit. Then I'm now down to 185 and I'm probably best shape of my life right now. So I have been thin. I've been fat.
You've been all over the map.
I've been thin again. I've been the thinnest I was in my adult life and then the fattest I've ever been. And now I'm back down. And guess what?
How did you find it?
Well,
in terms of how people treat you.
People can be more honest with me than your average person. So when I lived when I moved to Toronto, I gained a lot of weight.
Scott's unlikable at all sizes.
No, that's the thing. You can give me shit at all sizes.
There you go.
So I was thin, we'll say, before I moved to Toronto.
Popeyes.
Met Popeyes.
I know this
changed
story.
My fucking life.
Ate
a lot of Popeyes. Popeyes every week, at least Wednesdays, because that was the chicken sandwich, but usually Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And I'd get anxiety passing McDonald's on the streetcar on the way home because
you wanted to go in?
I'd count down the amount of stops that were there were McDonald's that were reasonable to get off at, and I would have to sit there on the table trying to stay in my seat so I wouldn't get off and go and binge eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
Because I am a fat man on the inside, and I've been a fat man on the inside. When I was in Toronto, I wasn't around my close friends, and I got fat. I started out thin. People saw me get fat. I did wear the weight well, but people, they were very accepting of me. There was no one that was perfectly critical. I move home. Now I'm around my families and friends. They were just constantly trashing me. Now I can
like
take a
trashing, like kind of picking on, or like legit like lecturing you about it.
No one will fucking lecture me. I know that I'm fat, and they just be like, "Oh my god, look at you," like making like asking how many buckets of mayo I've eaten this week, and like just making those little subtle like fat jokes about me. But in my experience, I'm a skinny guy who got fat, or a not skinny. I've never been like pencil thin, but I'm a guy who gained 30, 40 pounds. And so maybe that's why people felt more willing to give me a hard time. But also, that was my close family and friends. So, like, again, I feel like I'm a bit of an anomaly because most people have no hesitation to shit on me. But around strangers, I was treated better as a fat guy.
Really?
Than I'm treated as a in-shape guy.
See, that's interesting because I don't Wendy's face. I don't know
by women.
I don't know if it's different for genders, but I feel like with overweight women, it's not the case at all.
Well, okay. That's because, well, let's see. There's a number of reasons. But a guy, I don't know how to fucking unpack this or how to put this.
It's such a hard
there's so
topic
many different,
to navigate.
There's so many different like angles because like.
Why do you think that people are more hard on women about weight than men?
Well, first, they're not. They're much harder on men on weight. Women are harder on women.
I mean,
on most female issues, women are the fucking problem.
I will agree with that. I will fully agree with that. Actually, that statement.
It's not a bunch of men reading People magazine and all that. All the fashion fucking industry. Oh, just full of straight men. No, full of women, and women are catty. And they're gonna fucking say that horrible shit to each other. Slut shaming, body shaming. That's a woman endeavor when it comes to a woman. A guy wouldn't do it. Like a guy does it subtly. A guy will be like, I'm not gonna pay attention to you.
Guys can be also very mean.
Losers.
If you've ever seen like dating app conversations, I see them all the time.
Yeah, but you're talking about losers.
I love
butthurt losers do not count. We're talking about in the public eye. Body positivity is a public movement, so we had to talk about it in the public eye. And if you're a woman criticizing body positivity, you are going to have a much easier, you'll be more receptive than a guy doing the same thing.
Oh, do you think?
100%. I've watched the fucking clips. I've watched, you're a guy and you're saying to a woman that you don't think body positivity is a good thing. And like,
I think anyone saying those words to someone who's radically taken on the movement, I think either gender
has anyone
would
radically taken it on other than in the positive
way?
I
mean,
other than like Andrew Tate level douchebags, has anybody attacked body positivity? Like
attacked
radically?
I mean,
to find radical people who are pro body positivity, you don't have to look very far.
I mean, I've heard people, comedians and stuff in the public eye talk about it on podcasts
but radically.
I mean, yeah. So like my favorite podcast, Guys Be Fucked, they're very honest about. They're just essentially like, it's bullshit. It's a bullshit movement. It's not real. It doesn't exist.
What is?
You know, she said things like, "When I lose weight, I feel my value in society increasing." Like she's said things like that, and I can't disagree with her. I can't disagree with her.
Is your value in society increasing when you lose weight?
Is it? I mean, I don't know.
I would argue yes.
Yeah,
but that's because if you're losing weight and you're doing it in a healthy way, you're not an anorexic, you're not starving yourself or bulimic or whatever. You don't have some traumatic way of getting there. Is your value increasing? Well, it stands to reason as somebody who fucking knows, because again, I've eaten myself to a weight and I've busted my ass to another weight. I've always been more value to society when I've been in better shape. One, stronger. It's easier for me to get around. I'm more confident. I'm more competent. I'm less depressed. I'm happier. Like I'm more positive in my outlook in life. So, is somebody who inhabits those qualities more valuable to society? I would say probably yes.
I mean, if a zombie apocalypse happens.
Well, if a zombie apocalypse happens, or you need someone to help move your furniture.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
if you want to, like, go on a fun run, but
value, we could argue about what value is too.
Yeah, sure. I think value means good. And that's not to say, you can say something's good and not say something's bad. Like, I don't think, like, I have plenty of obese friends who will watch this and they know themselves that they would benefit from losing weight.
Yeah.
Like, if you're, like, I'm talking obese, find me somebody who loses a shit ton of weight through healthy eating and hard work that has regrets.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing.
No, you're not.
You'll never find that person.
That's because they're always so much happier.
So if
they're so much happier.
Everybody's beautiful or whatever, health at every size is true, where are all the
miserable people who lost weight?
Yeah, skinny to fat detransitioners who are like, I want to go back to being eating cheeseburgers and crying on the couch kind of thing. Because a lot of the times that's what it is. If you want to get out of a depressive state, good way to do it is correct your fucking eating habits, get better sleep, and start moving around more. You're gonna lose weight because of that. Now, do I empathize for the struggle? 100%. It's incredibly difficult. It's difficult for me, who has already learned all the lessons. Like I said, I ate a pile of shit today. I'm well over my caloric intake. Should I be proud of that? What did I do? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if we're being fully honest about it, I just don't.
I mean, so for me, okay, like, for me, I do see some positives to the body positivity movement in the sense that I do think people of all sizes should love themselves. I do believe in that because I do think in order to care about yourself enough to get in shape and do those hard things, you have to have a level of self-respect and self-love for yourself to even do those things. You know, like you just do. If you genuinely don't love yourself, you're not going to want to exercise. You're not going to want to eat well. All of this. So that's one part of the movement that I do agree with.
And on the value end of things on this topic, I know plenty of fat, obese, call it whatever you want, whatever size people, we'll say on the heavy end of the spectrum, who have an infinite more value to society than some people who are skinny. You know what I mean?
How so?
I just know good. I know good, motivated, positive people who are gassing people up, making them feel good. Like they're a positive force in this world. So they're a
positive like influence on others, or like
sure, 100%.
They're outputting good things. That's kind of where we're getting the value.
They're not mutually exclusive. Like you can be a fat person with more value than a skinny person.
Absolutely, that's what I was just gonna say. I'm like,
it's not the benchmark. I don't think
that it necessarily.
But let's say this, okay? Would my obese friends, who are this positive force, be capable of potentially more good if they had lost weight, if they were at a healthy size for themselves? And the answer is undeniably yes. One, they'll be able to live longer, statistically and likely. So if you're going to go from any kind of logical standpoint, you're going to live longer if you're in shape by list them. You've got a higher chance of keeping your feet. How about that? If you're not obese, Wendy.
That's a quote.
I mean, that's just.
It's a higher chance of keeping your feet if you're not obese.
Tell me I'm wrong.
But you're not.
Wendy, pull that up. What are the chances of losing your feet?
Well, that's because of diabetes, right?
Yeah, and fucking heart disease and fucking issues and all the
I also
strain on your heart.
I follow a lot of like larger influencer women, and a lot of them preach the idea that just because you're fat doesn't mean you're not healthy.
Yeah, and that's true
so, like,
too.
I know like
and just because
larger
you're skinny
people who are active and they make the daily habits of like moving. They might not be dropping tons of weight, randomly, but they are making an effort to incorporate exercise and movement. I know a lot of people who incorporate healthy things in their life, and they might not be dropping weight or becoming super thin because of it. But in my mind, they're still healthy. Do you know what I mean? But that's not to say that there's obvious reasons why they would be healthier without it.
And is healthier better for the person?
Probably.
Okay. All right. Let's call that an objective truth, that it's better to be healthier. And if you could be healthier, it's probably something to be striving for. And that is where body positivity, the movement, don't hate yourself because you are the weight you're at. But don't lie to yourself about, people do this all the fucking time about every issue. They're insufficient. They're not doing the best they could be doing in some capacity. And they make an excuse for why that is. Well, I'm just too blah, 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 blah to be considerate about this thing. Well, weight is one of those things that they could be neglecting or the size or their how healthy they're being is one of the things. You could be, I don't know, fucking playing with your kids more. And you could be making up excuses about how, oh, well, you know what? I play with my kids a bit, but I'm busy at work. I come home, I'm tired. I don't want to. I can't be around them all the time. And kids, they should have their time on their own. They don't need me there all the time. All of these are legitimate arguments. But you're also lying to yourself because you know you could be doing better and you don't want to fucking admit it because the truth is scary. And it sucks.
But the thing is, we're in a society that praises people who don't go that extra mile. Like, you get the Yas Queens and the hype ups of these posts that are like, I'm big and so what? I'm beautiful. And we have a culture now that is positively reinforcing that that's okay.
Sure. We have a culture that's positively reinforcing all kinds of things that you are not worthy of praise. Like what is, you can be, you don't necessarily need to have shame, but a lack of shame, the antithesis is not pride. Like pride is why are you proud that you didn't do something? Like unashamed is not the same as proud.
And maybe in their case, they're going, it's not that I didn't do something. It's that I'm just like loving myself finally and accepting my body for what it is. And in their case, they don't see it as not doing something. They see it as that they're gaining something from loving themselves.
And perhaps, you know what, maybe that's a good start. But I think that love's complicated. And if you truly love yourself, maybe you should do the best for you. And maybe the best thing for you isn't always the easiest thing. And it's a hell of a lot easier to make a post about how you love yourself and then have everyone pat you on the back than it is to wake up and bust your ass every morning and to not drink your friggin' beer and not to eat a honey cruller and an ice cap and 2 junior chickens. It's a hell of a lot easier to just go, there's nothing wrong with me. Well, you could be doing better for yourself. And thyroid issues, they're a thing. But
Right.
I just don't like.
Do you want to hear my main issue with this fucking movement?
Yes.
And the reason that it pisses me off so much? I'll use a pop culture example. Miss Taylor Swift, who I hope we'll do an episode on at some point.
You'll do a 3-part episode.
She's, she has a documentary. She came out saying that she, like on her 1989 tour, would starve herself because she wanted to be thin. And she was very, very thin during that whole era. Mm-hmm. In a new music video that she did, there's a scene where she steps on a scale and there's two Taylors. So there's one looking at her and one stepping on the scale. And the Taylor that steps on the scale looks down and it just says fat.
Okay.
Okay. And then it shows her looking upset, and because it's kind of showing like clearly she's not fat, but she's stepping on the scale and thinking she is. Mm-hmm. Okay. She had to censor the word fat because people thought it was fat phobic. So this is where my hatred.
So what did it say? Did it just blur it out in the video?
I think they just cut away from this, like her. I think it just showed her looking down. It didn't actually show the front of the scale.
So she's got this positive message that she can't even say because it might trigger.
Well, it's not even necessarily a positive message, but it's playing to the fact that she had body dysmorphia, essentially.
See, that's beautiful fucking.
But that's her personal, and I was so pissed about it because I was like, who are we to fucking go, you're not allowed to say that because it upsets me.
Yeah.
Like your whole journey,
what it's all about.
It just infuriated me, and then I got into conversations with people on Instagram DMs just being like, this is rooted in fat phobia and how she had to censor it because her expression to the word fat made it look like fat is bad.
Which is the whole thing you're fucking complaining about, and the message she's trying to convey is that it's not bad and you shouldn't beat yourself up about it, but you're not allowed to talk about that. So it's funny because that's just it just
made me so mad. It made me so freaking mad.
That is
so mad.
The perfect example of like we'll call it progressive movements eating themselves.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift does a lot for the algorithm. I don't think she happens upon a inspiration for a subject for her songs just out of the fucking ether. I think that she's got probably a pretty strong writing staff behind her that's focusing on which topics are going to garner the most interest because she seems to be tapping into them. And look, great singer.
This is not. We are going to do an episode about Taylor.
We won't get too deep into the Taylor right now.
But the point is that where I have an issue with it is women shaming other women for their own journeys with their weight.
Sure.
So my thing is like, I've been really honest being like, I like being thinner. I don't want to get bigger. Like, I just don't. I like myself more slim. When I lose weight, I am the most confident.
Why is that?
I have ever.
Why is that?
Because I like how I look better.
Okay, but why?
Because I just do. I just don't like how it looks otherwise. And you know what? Maybe there's something to be said for like, millennial woman, late 30s. Like, I grew up with a mom that like would like put me on like calorie counter things, like Weight Watchers, like very young. And she also is like, doesn't let herself eat junk food. Like, she's very...
Yeah, I mean, you can go
not
too
eating
far
a lot.
in either direction.
There's some stuff there.
Yeah.
But regardless, and I'll be fucking honest and say, it's not even because I want to be healthier. I like how I look when I'm thinner. When I lost weight at that live show, when I lost 10 pounds from the flu,
yeah,
never been more confident about myself.
100%. And
then so if other people are gonna shame me for feeling that way because they think I don't know, it's my journey. Like it's what I like about myself.
Stop calling it a journey.
Has nothing to do. I know.
It's
the word journey is so overused.
Yeah,
I know.
It's definitely used. We're not going to Mordor.
A journey.
It's like, I guess, kind of what I want to get to the core of is like, why do you feel better or why do you feel more confident? Because what someone's going to go and say is, well, that's because society's telling you that you need to achieve this certain beauty standard in order to be X. But it's like, why is it that beauty standard is where it is? And it's, again,
I think it's trying to change.
Why is it more impressive if somebody fucking wins a UFC match or a fucking gold medal in skiing than the person who can't fucking ski? Mm-hmm. Like, imagine being somebody who sucks at skiing, and then you're just like, oh, look, they're not even trying. We should put them on the podium. It's like, okay, look, skiing is impressive because of the effort and the we'll call it the effort and the ability to do so. So it shows that you're good at something if you are a great skier, like you're the best skier. I just don't know if we should be putting on like the slowest skier. I don't necessarily like this analogy because, again, it's not a, like, you can be fat and still have all kinds of things to be proud about.
Oh, absolutely.
But like,
and I'm not negating those things, but I'm just not a fan.
I felt like I was. That's why I felt like I wanted to say that because it awfully sounded like me saying like, there's nothing impressive about. That's the worst part about this fucking topic.
Listeners, do us a favor and stick with us through this.
Yeah, like, look.
Stick with us through this. My thing is like, I don't think women who, okay, let me say it this way. I don't think women who don't want to be fat should be shamed for that, having that opinion.
And who does
And I don't necessarily, like systematic.
Who shames them?
I would say like,
supporters of the body positivity movement.
And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
I mean, Adele gets death threats because she lost weight.
There's a lot of them. You know, like I remember when I started doing my body positivity joke, you know, when my favorite moment was I opened it by going, I lost 10 pounds recently. Like, it was the first thing I said, and no one cheered. And I went, see, you can't be happy about that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, exactly. Like you guys, by not clapping or encouraging me, just proved that I cannot say that in a proud way anymore, because if I brag about that or if I'm happy about that, it's fat phobic.
Now, the way you did it.
I lost 10 pounds.
You lost 10 pounds by getting COVID or whatever the fuck. So
the flu.
It's
great. I highly recommend.
But, it's a fast track. But, okay, so is it impressive to lose weight because of should anybody be going, geez,
no,
Sarah, great job.
But you want to know what? It's a great bonus.
It's a great bonus.
I'm certainly not going to claim credit for... I did it because you know what? It came back. So there you go.
It's the same thing with people with high metabolism. Like, I got friends who can eat and drink as much as they want and they will not gain weight. Like, they struggle to gain weight. And sometimes, they get made fun of because they're so small or whatever. But like, do I wish I had it? Wish I was as lucky as they are? Like, when I...
Do you?
Oh, fucking absolutely. I mean, if I could eat whatever I want, I would. Right? I know some of the most unhealthy people on the planet that are like 120 pounds and 5'11". So there are incredible. I mean, you'd obviously be pretty unhealthy if you're 5'11" and 120 pounds.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily though. We can't. This is the thing. I don't know why anyone is assuming stuff about other people. So even you just saying that, maybe it's not healthy. But maybe they are. Like, we don't have their health records. Like, we don't know.
I'm saying self-admitted people, like, I know people who are twig thin who will eat 2 extra large pizzas, a garlic fingers, drink the Donair sauce. They'll eat like horrifically, do nothing for their body. And it's like, they get to be seen as healthy.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where it's a little unfair, but life's unfair. You know what I mean? Now, for me, I try to lose weight. It takes a lot of fucking effort for me to lose weight. I really do have to watch what I eat. I really do have to work out every day to get there. And I probably have it easier than some people that are even bigger than I am. I'd say almost definitely, because metabolisms are different. So
now I have a question for you.
The problem with body positivity isn't necessarily about taking away people's feeling of shame. It's the fact that that quickly transfers into people being proud of their lack of accomplishments. And this doesn't apply to everybody. There's going to be some people who have it like I know people who could very easily be healthy, and by healthy I mean lower in their weight, who put on a bunch of depression weight or whatever the fuck it may be, and then they all of a sudden now, instead of doing what they have to do to get it taken off, which they used to be doing, they're just, I love myself now. And I'm like, I feel like you're taking the easy way out.
But here's my thing. That's their choice.
Sure.
Why are we... I don't know. I just kind of go, I really don't care what other people do. Just don't fucking push it on others is my thing. You know, I was telling you in the ride over that it's the inauthenticness I find of these supporters of the movement that I don't like. I don't really like having a conversation with a friend of mine talking about how we both feel insecure and I wish we felt better with our bodies and I feel bloated today, like all this like really real conversations, and then having seen an Instagram post being like channeling my inner Lizzo, everybody is beautiful. That's what I don't like. I would rather you come out and say, I fucking hate my body right now.
Yeah, you want some real fucking honesty?
I fucking hate this. And I also think, and maybe, I don't know if people agree with this or not, I do think you can love yourself and not like how you look.
Sure.
I think you can also be a confident person and carry yourself with confidence and not necessarily like how you look. If you walk around like you're a 10, it'll show. Like it'll show through. Do you know what I mean? Like confidence shows through. So I think, I don't know, it's just that inauthentic side of it, that really performative side of it that I'm not a fan of. The other thing is like you can't really say anymore, I feel fat or I look fat. You can't say that around any woman that is at all bigger than you.
Yeah. I definitely feel that. I definitely still, I still say it when I feel fat. I mean, whatever.
But like then you might be beside someone and they go, well, if you feel fat, what am I?
I'm not hanging around that person. If that person is beside me, they know I'm going to make fun of them.
I think what we're saying here is like self-awareness is key with this, because there are people who would be larger that maybe they're with you and you say, I look fat today. And they go, look at me. Like they almost say in a different way of like, well, so am I.
Yeah, for sure.
Because fat is now not, people are claiming the word fat like it's a positive thing now.
Yeah. And I don't know.
And when I say that, I just mean like we've grown up. We've been accustomed to the negative connotation of that word.
Yeah. I don't know if it's... Like, again, I don't know if it's a positive thing, but I think it's two different things. It's like, okay, self-hate, no. But I don't think that body positivity is your door out of self-hatred. If anything, it's probably more easily a door into denial, of what maybe you should be doing. It's the same thing as every whatever self-love movement. You can self-love yourself into hell.
That's where I'm going.
Because you just keep ignoring all of your own fucking red flags.
Right.
Again, the problem with this whole fucking conversation is that you're always going to seem like the bad guy.
I know.
Right?
I know. I feel like this coming in, it's just it's a hard conversation to have because, we both know people who are overweight. We love those people. But we would never want those people to be hurt by what we're saying here.
So I want to go back to my fat/not fat experience. So when I was fat, like people treated me as if, and it's this also goes with like long hair versus short hair for me personally, because like short hair kind of douchey, broy looking, long hair, oh, he's like carefree and fun.
I feel the exact opposite about that.
No,
long-haired men.
No.
Sorry.
I didn't have a fucking man bun. I'm talking about like shoulder length, can't make a ponytail, just scruffy hair,
shoulder length,
versus like fucking G.I. Joe, like
right,
Captain America haircut. My lived experience is that when I had long hair, I'm the same guy, long hair, short hair. When I have longer hair, I am more accepted. My jokes come off more jokey. They don't come off as like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? Because they're just like, oh, he's just like, look, he's kind of looks like a hippie. The same is true of when I was fat, people would be, and versus when I was in shape. When you're in shape, people think like, oh, this guy must think so fucking highly of himself. It's like, that's another thing. You can be in perfect shape and hate yourself. So you can be fat and love yourself and be confident, and you could be thin and hate yourself.
You see people go the other way, right? Where they overwork, like they're constantly at the gym. Like there's, people who overwork out and then they get health issues from that. That's definitely a thing too.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily
so
think
I guess what we're saying is it's all about balance.
I guess what we're saying is, let's all be honest.
So
we all hate ourselves.
So Wendy, can you bring up the messenger convo with the summary so we can kind of try to stay on track here?
Oh yeah. Well,
what did we have?
Well, I also had. So I said that it promotes self-love, which is good.
Promotes self-love, which is good, but is a danger into.
I also said that it promotes a more. Now, this is where I need to explain a more realistic standard of beauty. Now, like what I mean by that is like, I don't necessarily think. Okay. I'm going to resay that.
It's more realistic because it's a lot easier.
Well, yeah, because like I grew up with like, stick thin Britney Spears with a midriff out that was so friggin' thin. And I grew up.
Midriff.
Her midriff.
You were grandmother?
That's what they called it when it started happening.
Midriff.
Like that's the standard of beauty that I grew up with in magazines as a young girl. Young girls now are seeing larger women in bikinis being confident, and it's nice because they don't have that pressure to be so super thin. That's a good thing, I think.
So super thin. But I mean, again, it just goes to one end of the spectrum to the other.
Exactly.
And I think if you if you're striving, let's say you can be healthy fat and healthy thin. Okay. Which one should you strive for?
I mean, I can't speak for all people.
What a fucking political response.
For me, it's thin. Diplomat. But everyone has control over their own bodies and can do whatever they want.
Yeah, sure. But like, okay, for the average person, is it easier to be fat and unhealthy? Or is it easier to be thin and unhealthy?
It's easier to be fat and unhealthy, right?
Yes, for sure.
Because if you're unhealthy,
if you're thin and
you're constantly having to balance that. Like
if you're thin and unhealthy, you're on crack. You're bulimic and anorexic. You've got a disorder you're malnourished. Like you've got to be thin and unhealthy. Again, with the exception of people with crazy metabolism who can eat garlic fingers and all that shit and pizza and still be thin. Yes, you could be thin and unhealthy that way. But like for the average person, if you put the metabolism the same, you put this kind of those factors, it's a lot easier to be fat and unhealthy.
Well, it's easier to give up. It's easier to just go, I'm going to eat the Popeyes. I'm going to not care.
Yes.
And I'm going to lean. And I also feel like, I'm just going to be honest. If that's your attitude, if you're looking to clog arteries and just spend your life gaining weight, I don't know if you love yourself. I'm not convinced. Mm-hmm. I'm not convinced that is a form of self-love. Yeah. Do I think that they deserve self-love? Yes. Everyone does. Maybe not like murderers, but they can fuck off.
But self-love we'll have to do a whole fucking episode on self-love because I can't.
Oh, that's a whole other movement.
That's a whole other kettle of fish, as they say. Can of worms, bag of apples. I want to find a way to like cap this, to like conclude like.
Well, right. Why don't we each give a conclusion?
Well, what are we talking about? Like, we got to go pros of body positivity.
I guess
the pros of positivity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why don't you say? I want you to say the pros.
Well, it's like it's individual scale versus mass scale. Like, okay, don't hate yourself. Have some forgiveness that you got to this weight. Don't just absolutely give up and look at it like you are a human being. You're allowed to stumble and fall or whatever. But so yeah, don't hate yourself.
You're allowed to don't hate yourself.
But you know,
even Scott McLean is dancing around the words.
No, I'm just trying to find the way. Like
I fucking love this.
Like,
this is great.
Could you be doing better? You should always be holding yourself to your highest standard, the highest version of yourself. The best version of yourself is the best version of yourself. And the best version of yourself is the healthiest and most capable and competent version of yourself. Not just for you, but for the people around you in your life.
Who want you around for longer.
And want you around for longer. So by in large.
Oh my God. Scott.
I would say it's better to do your best to be healthy and shed some of that weight off. I don't know if that's yes, it's a controversial statement, but I don't think it should be.
Well,
so pros of body positivity, to sum that up, yes, don't hate yourself. That's a good thing. People shouldn't be feeling terrible and suicidal because of their shame for themselves. That'll be my pro for body positivity. What would you say?
I mean, I think I would agree with everything you just said. What's going on, Wendy?
Are there
was that Brian? Who was that?
It was I think it was a
homeless person.
Yes.
Oh shit. There's tons of them around here. What did he do?
He was throwing things at the window behind you.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go out.
Shit.
Pause the shit
because
I'm gonna have to fuck somebody up with steel toe boots. And we're back.
And we're back.
Crackhead tried to break into my truck outside, so we had to pause for then. And I guess to segue back into the body positivity, he was thin. So we're not just saying you're a good person if you're thin. You could be a crackhead trying to break into a truck. And he actually robbed a store around the corner earlier tonight too.
Being thin does not make you good.
No. Sometimes, it's not a relative or relevant marker of moral behavior. This crackhead robbed a store earlier today. Now, we don't know he was a crackhead. I guess we want to put an asterisk beside that.
Everyone has used that term since this has happened.
But he was very skinny and had eyes pointing out in separate directions and scruffy hair.
You didn't see him, though.
And we're in a real cracky area.
Producer Wendy was very brave and scared him off.
Yeah, by saying hi to him. So, here we are.
She saved us. He could have put a boulder through this studio and could have killed us.
He also could have fucked up the window of my truck, and now I got to get that replaced.
That's true.
But that tags on to the body positivity, right? So we see a man with eyes that point both ways, not straight, and he's skinny. And then what do we think? We think a crackhead.
Right.
Just because he had dirty hair and a big sweater and was very small and skinny and fucked up eyes. Should we think that? Should he be positive about his body, Sarah?
I mean, you know what? We're all gonna die. Who cares?
See, he's got other reasons to hate himself.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it might be the last of his self-hatred.
Now,
reasons.
Here we have somebody. What about him? Would he stand to work out? He'd probably benefit from exercise. Then maybe he would have had the strength to smash the window of the truck and get my iPhone charging cable, which is probably the only thing of value in there. So I suppose my wallet's in there, but
Jesus.
There's no cash.
That's true.
So,
well, yeah, I think the last point you ended on your positive of body positivity, and now it's my turn to say the positive, which I think it promotes self-love, which is good. I think it shows people that you don't have to be a certain way to be beautiful, which is great. And I think the downsides are it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's annoying when you push it on others. And it can be fake sometimes.
And it's quick to turn into a dividing topic that turns people crazy and makes you love yourself for all of your insufficiencies.
He said it, not me.
Well, I mean, Jesus. Like,
he said it, not me.
I believe that is, I want to extend that to, and maybe this will be another episode. Maybe this will lead into the next one. Self-love does the same thing. Body positivity is a derivative of self-love, and I think you should self-love yourself for the things that are worth loving, and I don't think you should hate yourself for things you can't control.
Well, that's a great point too.
But you should have the self-awareness to recognize what is within your control and try to control it.
I think everyone should just be honest. If you don't like how you look, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to actually say that. And actually, I'll relate to you more if you say that.
Mm-hmm. We need a little more honesty in society today.
I just will. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, so what do you guys think? Leave your comments under. Smash that like button.
Oh my God.
Put some comments down. Like, subscribe, do the whole thing.
Let us know if you hate us after this episode.
Yeah, like tell us where we're wrong. I mean, I would love to do I think we should maybe that's what we do. Maybe we do part 2 episodes if we get enough fucking interest.
This was a big topic.
Yeah.
This is not, I feel like
I don't think we've adequately covered it. I still think we have to work out the kinks of organizing how we go over these things.
Yes, it's just a little tough. We got to come up with, some main points, which we tried to do today. It's a work in progress.
Yeah,
the show's a work in progress, but we're having fun doing it.
I'm having a great time. I enjoyed this conversation. I'm impressed. I want to give Sarah a round of applause for actually engaging in this topic.
I was terrified.
She's very scared. And,
I didn't want to. I'm a pussy.
You are, but you really told us how you felt. And I was not expecting that. I was expecting me to be the only bad guy in the room.
Well, see, this is the thing. I feel like these episodes are going to make people each episode will be different, but you might not expect us to say certain things.
Is this the beginning of a more authentic Sarah that's like a badder person, like a worse person through the eyes of the public?
I'm in my villain era.
Yeah.
that's what people would say. Everything's an era these days.
Yeah.
I'm in my eat pizza in bed era. I'm in my
fucking love yourself.
in my yeah. Oh, don't get me started. The self-love one, I would love for that to be a topic because I could talk about that all day. Because that's all I have to do.
So if anybody watches this ever, please put some comments in there. Let us know what you think. Let us see where we were wrong. Give a counterpoint. If when you're sitting there and you're listening to a podcast and you're like, fuck man, I wish I was there to say this. say it in the comments and or send us an email to the link if there's a link here.
Yes, that's right.
Will there might be a link here.
Maybe we'll make like a little anonymous form that people can be anonymous and write in feedback.
I love anonymous forms.
Because people will be a lot more real when they don't have their name attached to it. Not everyone.
Take your name
some
out.
Some people don't care, but maybe we'll do that. And thank you guys for tuning in.
Could the link be here? Can I, if I wave my hand?
I mean, we can put the link in the, yes, we can put it here.
And then if there's audio people, if there's an audio thing, then we can have like a little edit where you go, oh, by the way, the link that we're talking about is
in the show notes.
Show notes. Check the show notes.
Check
for the link.
show notes. Follow on Instagram, Scott versus Sarah podcast.
And I have just come up with this link idea on the spot right now. So don't get your hopes up about the link. If it's on YouTube,
Oh my God.
If we put this on YouTube, are we putting this on YouTube?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so if it's on YouTube, leave
yeah.
a comment. That's the easy way to do it.
Just talk to us, and we want this to be a show that you listen to in the car and you like scream back at us in your car and you want to argue back at us. Like we want that's what we want.
Yeah.
We want to make, I don't want to say a polarizing show, but we want to make one that people will listen to and go, oh, I want to say something back to them. Kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Or,
Yeah.
oh, fuck yeah, I agree with that. Or, oh my God, that guy's a piece of shit and here's why.
But I'll still tune in next week.
Comments. Yeah. Because we're like open to criticism. I'm open to being wrong about this shit. I just don't think I am.
So am I. I'm open to hear people out. I just have my qualms with body positivity, but it is what it is. We all have our opinions.
And we'll have a self-love conversation, not next episode, maybe next episode. We will have that coming up. Stay tuned for a self-love episode coming your way at some point in the time.
Some point soon. We still don't have an extra, so we'll just say thank you guys for listening to
Scott
verse
Sarah.
No.
No. You were supposed
Thanks
to
for
say
listening
it.
to
Scott
versus Sarah?
All right, this
We got to work on this.
we're not going to do that. That's not it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next time in the battleground.